LinkedIn Live. Great to have you with me, and I hope you benefit from what I'm about to share with you, which is collaboration, a key to LinkedIn success. How do you define collaboration on LinkedIn? Well, basically, it's working with someone and in time building trust and confidence and likability so you can then continue to expand on that collaboration. So really, it's if you look at LinkedIn, everything is reciprocal. So if you post and someone comments and then you respond, you've created a cycle of self and mutual promotion because now you're exposing it to all your networks. In addition, you're kind of raising your hand and saying you want to play. Does anybody want to play with you? Ultimately, it comes down to value, but you can't share value until you get accessibility and someone who's open to wanting to expand what you're starting to build on. So it's really a foundational element. And that's why, I focus so much of my time and attention on building collaboration groups and one-on-one and group coaching opportunities, as you can see on my caption. But it's because it works and it works well. Working by yourself is like how do you clap with one hand? It doesn't work too well. So the key is identifying who you want to work with. It's no different than seeking anything that's important to you. Is you have to identify it, and then you have to determine basically how do you attract it, because it's all about attraction. What you do gets you what you get. So once you can attract these people, then you have an opportunity to talk with these people. So the best way to do it, since you're not talking, is basically messaging. And I've talked about this in past broadcasts, and it's really about doing more, creating value, providing service to get people's attention and appreciation. And now you're raising your stature as far as your profile and your brand with them. So when you finally do get to talking, there's a familiarity that's already built into it. And then the key is knowing where you're going with what you're doing. So just to have a call and someone says, okay, what do you got? And you say, well, I don't know. Or what do you need? It's like going somewhere with a half a tank of gas. Why even bother if you're not going to go the distance? And why present yourself as something you can't deliver on? So really that's important, is you're giving more in the hope of getting attention, not making more. You're sharing and servicing so that you can differentiate and distinguish yourself from the mob and stand out. And that's the key, is elevation. When you have 810 million individuals on LinkedIn, you're one of 810 million people when you enter. The question is, how long do you want to be with 810 million people when you can really elevate and rise above based on understanding best practices, based on working with smart people who have experience and maybe can share theirs so you can avoid having to struggle at times, extend time. People don't lose because LinkedIn's not good enough. In most cases, it's because they don't do enough. And that's a universal fact. And in the beginning, you got to do more to get less in order to one day do less to get more. The key is having a time perspective and really a reasonable expectation of return on investment. And, if you work an hour a day, you should probably only get paid for an hour a day. And if you work 8 hours a day, naturally you're going to not only make more, but you're going to learn 8 times faster on what not to do in the beginning. And really, that's the key to, people say, well, I don't have a lot of money invested, but that's not the point. People just, I'd say, waste time or don't use time properly. And, once you understand what works and what doesn't, then it's then it's a lot easier to do. Common sense. So, getting back to having a a collaboration strategy is really, who do you work with, at what level, what investment do you make in them, what expected return are you hoping for, and do you measure against it? These are a lot of things. I'll be totally honest with you. LinkedIn has so many nuances and little tools that you can use, and major tools like polling, like LinkedIn Live, like LinkedIn Audible has just been introduced. I'm going to start doing that. And, how would you learn? How would you have time to learn? And then how do you integrate that in an action plan that gets you satisfaction and continually improving results? Well, people are doing it. There's stars on LinkedIn, and they're doing it and having a lot of fun, making a lot of friends, probably, enjoying some level of prosperity. But more importantly, this is the beginning of the beginning. LinkedIn's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get better. And why not separate at this point based on skill set, based on motivation, work ethic? If you bought a McDonald's franchise for, I don't know what they're going for today, how hard would you work to make it successful if that's pretty much whatever you had in the world you invested? Well, why don't you think of yourself as your own franchise and invest what you would at no cost with total freedom? No one gives you a rule book and tells you what to do. And then align with the best people there are. This is pretty simple stuff once you embrace it in a way that you can now say, I understand where I'm at, where I'm going, and what to expect from it. And what I will guarantee is if you work really hard, you'll attract people you haven't met yet. You'll learn things that you can really apply for greater success. And in turn, once you get successful, you can start duplicating that success through others. And what I'm now doing is not expanding time, but putting more time into communicating with more people in a smaller amount of time and getting more value and benefit with cost and time efficiencies. And, my background's been business, and I built some very huge businesses, physical businesses like national specialty retail chains, to online businesses, to huge marketplace opportunities. And when I moved to LinkedIn, it was really about relevancy. And more importantly, when I was selling products, they can be easily commoditized. When you're on LinkedIn, people are far more difficult to commoditize. But once you can aggregate and leverage the value of collaboration, LinkedIn rewards you hugely. And that's what I advocate is join, build a group. Whatever connections you have, pick out the top 5 and see what you can do, at least to work together, to start doing things and expand on that. And all of a sudden, you'll bring a skill set and an opportunity to the marketplace that doesn't really exist and is not highly visible. So, it's all about knowing the right way. I've been posting every day for 1,000 days. I've been doing LinkedIn Live every day for about 3 weeks. I find it fascinating. I've accelerated my learning curve, my growth curve, and my vision of where I'm going and how I can leverage LinkedIn to get there, but more importantly, help so many other people get there also. So, I'd love to hear any insights or feedbacks or questions that you may have. You can visit Don Cohen Consulting. I've got 20% off right now of a coaching program that's unbelievable. It's 4 weeks, get you right into the fast lane and start building momentum. I've got a mastermind group that meets, actually 2 mastermind groups that meet. and there's opportunities for both of them. So if you get an opportunity, go to doncohenconsulting.com, check it out. And I look forward to our next LinkedIn Live. And, hopefully you can take some of these tips and insights and apply them today. Prove to yourself that LinkedIn works when you can work LinkedIn properly. So, I'll leave you with a quick saying. The definition of a big shot is a little shot that keeps shooting. So never stop, aiming for your goal. And together, uh, it's possible. And if you can achieve it, your life can change for the better. So thanks again. Look forward to tomorrow's call. And if you have any questions, again, feel free, share this video with